Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
To progressive heli learning.
Awesome. So we covered inverted hovering, and then we covered inverted, uh, just orientations, moving the helicopter in very um, limited motions, right? We did like side to side,
Yep.
and we kind of did a box, right? We showed all that stuff, right? Pretty much.
Yep. Did some simple, basically just moving around the screen a little bit, moving left and right.
Okay, cool. So I guess this week what we need to do is try to figure out how to actually start getting the helicopter to move in a full circuit.
So some of the
So
keys we want to try and stay when you first start out. We want to try and keep that disc kind of flat, right?
yeah, so what we probably would want to do for this to kind of keep this as simple as possible is I would recommend maybe going up maybe just about 10, 15, 20 feet maybe. Get yourself inverted and then maybe just start moving the helicopter around in your most comfortable rudder direction because in order to do this, you're really going to need to be on the tail. So whatever rudder direction is easiest for you is going to be the direction you're going to learn first. So if, say, as I'm doing now, left rudder is more comfortable, you're going to learn these in a clockwise direction first. Okay, and the goal here is to limit the bank angle, keep the disc flat, because if you keep the disc flat, the helicopter won't build up momentum, it won't build up speed, and it will allow you time to move the sticks around and get the helicopter going in a nice clean circle without it shooting off like this, or if you get the bank angle high, it's going to shoot off like that. Keeping it flat allows your stick inputs to drive the helicopter, because if there's an angle, that angle is going to drive the helicopter, right?
Starts compounding movement.
It's compounding, yeah. So what you probably could do to start out is just, start out side in or nose first, whatever, and then just push the helicopter out, and it'll start to go away from you. And then as you give it rudder and a little bit of right aileron, it will start coming towards you. And if you just hold the rudder, it will actually pull the helicopter around. And if you look at my sticks, I'm not really adding any more aileron. I'm just kind of holding what I have, and I'm just maintaining the speed. I'm slowing down a little bit by pulling back on the elevator. See that? See how it slows down? It didn't continue on because you're flattening it out, right? And that's all it takes. And it's just that energy, you transfer that into a circle. So as you get the bank you want, you just let the helicopter move at that angle and use the tail to drive the helicopter.
That's going to be a theme of pretty much all of our flying, though, right? Drive the tail.
Drive the tail. And then if you're more comfortable nose first, then you do it nose first. The same principle applies. The only difference is now you're using forward elevator really to stop the momentum, because the helicopter generally tends to want to move forward. So you're going to use the forward elevator just to tip the nose up, and that'll flatten it out. As it's coming around, you just hold your aileron and keep driving the tail. Now, the reason why we're saying this is if you try to get that angle way too tight, look how my sticks start getting pulled apart now. Now you got a higher angle, and you've got more control that you're going to need to work into the mix to keep things relatively smooth. So try to keep the disc flat and try to keep the helicopter fairly stationary, I guess, as you move through the circuit. Because if you get it going too fast, you're really going to have to start learning the control and the collective changes and all that stuff. It just makes it harder. So.
And then once again, one of the things that we always recommend is know your bailout.
Yeah, know your bailout. Not
all
sure.
hell breaks loose. Some negative collective, gain some altitude, get it upright, and hover and take a break, mental break, and then get back into it, right?
Yeah. Looks like I only had like a 6 or 7 minute battery. That was quick.
Well, I'm fly nitro, so I got a lot more time.
Oh, yeah.
So they could watch me fly around for a little while you're recharging.
Yeah, let's just look at Greg. So, for all intents and purposes, exactly what he's doing there is pretty much continuing on from what I last demonstrated from a nose first perspective, limiting the speed of the helicopter, using the elevator tail first. You're really going to want to kind of pull back on the elevator just a little bit to keep it flat. If you're nose first, you actually want to push up on the elevator. So try to work on this, and if you're really comfortable going both ways, from nose to tail clockwise, then switch it up and maybe try counterclockwise. If that seems really, really hard, back off. Don't frustrate yourself. Enjoy doing it clockwise, but mix it up. As you're going through the circuit, just do a half pirouette or 1.5 pirouette and change direction. Go from nose to tail, tail to nose, and vice versa, and start to get a feel for using the rudder and collective at the same time at a much faster rate. So other than that, this is really what you want to get to. You just want to get to the point where you can move around nose first or tail first. And then the ultimate goal obviously would be clockwise and counterclockwise.
Very cool. All right. So time to practice, right?
Time to practice. Unless you got anything else you want to add to that.
Well, the only thing I'd throw out is just to reiterate, take it slow. Don't let momentum build up. That way you don't have to try and worry about the speed of your thinking. And if you start getting nervous, bail out, establish a safe hover, let your heart rate slow down, and then when you're back to seeing straight, go back into it again.
Yeah, and hey, granted, we are saying to keep it slow, keep it flat. That is actually how you will learn to use this in fast circuits and hurricanes. Okay, so we're not saying that, in order to fly a circuit, you have to fly flat. No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is just to learn this, just to get your mind wrapped around it. Keep things as slow as possible. It doesn't have to be hard and fast to be cool, because the bottom line is you're going to teach yourself how to do it from the basic standpoint, and then use that muscle memory and the skill to build up speed and do it much faster and have more fun with it.
I just keep thinking CCL. Cool comes later.
Cool definitely does come later. So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna go practice. So you guys have a great week, and we'll see you all probably Tuesday on the live stream if we get this video out before that. So,
excellent.
All right. Well, guys, remember always keep progressing.
Keep progressing.